Hey, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik. Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, Vancouver's favorite and best auto service experience. Bernie, your audio is a little loud. I can hear myself.
Turn it down.
So we're going to talk about a '07 Lexus GS350. You were doing some motor vacuuming and spark plugs. What's that all about?
All right, well, so this vehicle came to our shop, actually for a few services. One of them was rear strut replacement, which were leaking, but that's not really the subject of our discussion today. But it also was due for some maintenance service. The spark plugs were due for replacement based on mileage, and also we recommended a Motorvac fuel injection cleaning, which we usually do at the same time. So that's what was up on this vehicle.
So, struts aside, are some of these other services the equivalent of a tune-up, since we don't really do that anymore?
Yeah, these are, I mean, yeah, you could say this is a tune-up. I mean, there's nothing to tune up on a modern vehicle. Everything's electronically controlled, which is fantastic. You just hop in your car, you start the car, and away you go. I mean, electronic fuel injection and electronic ignition really made that happen, you know, a couple of decades ago. But you know, with modern cars, it's even more sophisticated. But yeah, this is what we need to do for a tune-up. You know, the spark plugs have a certain lifespan. They generally last quite a long time on most vehicles, and which is a good thing, because it's a lot of work to take spark plugs out on these vehicles. So they do have a very long lifespan, but they do eventually wear out. These weren't essentially worn out, but you want to replace them before anything happens. You want a seamless driving experience, so the engine's smooth all the time. It's critical.
So what about Motorvac? What is that? What benefits does that service provide?
So the Motorvac, it's basically a brand name for a machine. Motorvac is basically a fuel injection cleaning machine. How it works is that we basically disconnect the fuel system in the vehicle. We hook the Motorvac machine up directly to the engine. It has its own pump, it has its own gas, and then we add a very concentrated cleaner. We run it for about approximately half an hour, sometimes a little longer, if the vehicle hasn't been done in a long time. And also a couple of additional services we do, as long as it's reasonably accessible, we clean the throttle plate as well, which gets gummed up. So, I mean, basically what it does is it removes carbon deposits from the engine, it cleans the fuel injectors, any gummy deposits. When you clean the throttle plate, there's deposits that build up as well. So it allows the air to flow into the engine much better. And also, if there's a lot of carbon deposits on the valves, that can actually store fuel. We don't see the problem very often, but in the past there were engines where actually they wouldn't go uphill because there was so much carbon deposited on the intake valves that the engine would actually absorb the fuel that was being injected into the engine. But the Motorvac will remove all that and basically restore performance back to like new.
Can every engine be Motorvac?
Sorry, Mark, can you repeat that? I got a couple audio issues.
Can every engine be Motorvac?
No. Most engines can. The exceptions really are carbureted vehicles, which you can Motorvac it, but it doesn't make sense. It's easier just to pour carbon combustion chamber cleaner right down the carburetor and let it sit overnight. And almost no cars have carburetors anymore anyway, so like none do. They're only vintage cars at this time. The other, this machine we have does diesel, so we can do diesels. The one engine that it won't do is gasoline direct injection. Now that is basically similar to a diesel because it's injecting fuel like a diesel directly into the combustion chamber. But what happens is you still get carbon deposits on the intake valves, but this machine won't do anything about it because it's spraying the fuel directly into the combustion chamber. So it'll clean the injectors, but you miss the benefit of cleaning the valves. So those are one type of engine that we won't do. Now, interestingly enough, on this Toyota, there's a couple of unique things about this. It actually has a dual fuel injection system. It has gasoline direct injection and port fuel injection. The port injection is the one we could do the Motorvac with, and that's been used for many, many years. And a lot of manufacturers are getting away from it to do gas direct injection, but that's a subject for another discussion.
So do you have any pictures of this Lexus?
Yeah, I've got some pictures, and we can talk about the fuel system as well, but let's just share a few photos here. Here's the Motorvac fuel injection cleaning machine. It looks a little dirty. We use it a lot and it tends to get a little grungy around the shop. This is a dual, as I said, it's a dual machine. It will do diesel and gas. And essentially, if you can see some hoses on the left side, these, actually this is the diesel, the gasoline side. These hoses hook up to the vehicle, to the fuel system, and inside this machine is pumps and a variety of things. So that's the unit. Here's a photo of some spark plugs. And these are the plugs that were removed from the vehicle. I didn't actually look and see how many kilometers were on it, but these are the electrodes, and there's a lot of carbon deposits on these. So these plugs have been in there a long time, and very, very good time to change them. They've really got, the owner's really got his money's worth out of these. And finally, there is the Lexus engine. This engine, as I mentioned, is unique in that it uses gasoline direct injection and port injection as well. So that's the engine, and I believe I'm back.
Yeah. So how does that work with dual injection like that?
Well, how it works is that and it's all computer controlled. The vehicle will use the different fuel injection systems depending on engine speed, engine load. You know, going down the highway at higher speeds, the port injection system isn't really working at all. At idle, there's kind of a mixture between the two, and at various different throttle openings and different times, there's it'll use the two systems. It's not just unique to Lexus. There are other Toyota vehicles that use it as well, but it seems like a really good idea. Extra complicated though. You've got two fuel systems, so there's a lot of extra stuff that can go wrong. But fortunately, being Toyota, probably not a lot will, which is a good thing.
So overall, how would you rate Lexus vehicles?
Very highly. Really reliable vehicles. Not a lot goes wrong with them. I mean, they're not bulletproof, but really not a whole lot goes wrong with them, and a very nice option for a luxury car, reliable luxury car.
So one thing I wanted to ask about the Motorvac service, like we sort of touched on the benefits, it's cleaning things, but how am I going to notice that in my car? What's going to happen after I've had that done? Excellent question. So
Here's some of the things that our customers notice, because I do ask them frequently, how's your car run? Better fuel economy. The best report I've had is a 30% increase. Better throttle response. So you push the gas pedal down, it just responds faster and quicker. Smoother idle, easier, better startup. A lot of times a Motorvac is really good for taking care of subtle issues where the car just doesn't quite, people come to us go, it doesn't quite feel like it did when it was new. And the Motorvac is often great at doing that, because the vehicle computer will compensate for all sorts of little things, like, there's a little too much carbon in here, or there's, the injectors aren't quite injecting enough fuel. The computer will add some fuel, do a few things to mix it around, but by actually removing all those items, like the Motorvac will actually restore like new engine performance. So it's a great thing to do. So those are some of the things. And to be honest, I've had, 1 in maybe 10 customers tell me I don't notice any difference, but it's quite rare. And almost everyone reports back, a noticeable difference to, like, wow, that's fantastic.
So there you go. If you're looking for service for your Lexus in Vancouver, the guys to see are Pawlik Automotive. You can call them at 604-327-7112 to book your next appointment. They're busy, give them a call, or check out their website, pawlikautomotive.com. Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mark.